Respect is earned. Respect is never given. It's better to be respected than liked. The hell with being liked.
They got the numbers.
They got
just thinking that Fred Taylor came in together, and the season that I had is well documented, but he did finish second in Rookie of the Year.
Absolutely.
So he had a phenomenal career. Fred Taylor doesn't have the number. I was just sitting there trying to think. But you said Eddie George or Fred Taylor. I would have to say Fred Taylor, man. He had a phenomenal career. Hopefully one day, and I will be here for his adventure.
That was Ray Lewis and Randy Moss, NFL Hall of Famers of the class of 2018. Talking about two players. One's Eddie George, and the other is the guy we're talking about right now, Fred Taylor. Two legends sitting there reminiscing and thinking and not even thinking twice. It's saying without a shadow of a doubt that Fred Taylor belongs in the NFL Hall of Fame. So the question is, what's taking so long? Now, being a Ravens fan back in the day, like even to this day, when we played back in the day in the AFC Central Division, when we were in the same division as Jacksonville, as Ray said, we had to place all those guys. We had to face Corey Dillon, Jerome Bettis, Eddie George, and Fred Taylor. And this was around a time where running backs were all the rage in the NFL. That's what everybody was talking about. Like Ray said, they were running plays 40 times a game were run plays. And Fred Taylor was one of the best at that. For those of you that don't know, for those of you that weren't there, let me take you back to 1998. 98, Randy Moss said it himself. That was the year that he came into the league, and him and Fred Taylor came into the league at the same time. And them boys tore up the league. Randy Moss was Rookie of the Year, and he said it himself. Fred Taylor was right behind him at number 2. He was the runner-up. That means that Fred Taylor was just shutting everything down, man. He was running through everybody. I remember when he got into the game, man. It was unfortunately against the Baltimore Ravens. The guy ahead of him, I forget his name, but he got hurt, knocked out the game. So they put in Fred Taylor. The first play he gets in the game, 50-yard touchdown. First play, Fred Taylor touched the ball, he is gone against the Ravens defense. Did that in his first year. And speaking of his first year, his rookie year, the same year he got into the NFL like Randy Moss did, came in second rookie of the year. Here's his numbers. First of all, he got picked up. He was selected 9th overall in the 98 draft. And then let's look at his numbers for that season. He had 1,223 rushing yards and 14 touchdowns. That's a rookie. As a rookie, he's putting up those kind of numbers. And I'm going to add a little bit more to that. He had 44 catches for 421 yards and 3 touchdowns. So total, he had 17 touchdowns. 17 touchdowns. And in total, that's over 1,600 yards for the season. And then to play 13 years in the NFL with that kind of a start and to not have anybody in the selection, the people that make the selections for folk to get into the Hall of Fame to even consider putting him in there is just flat out wrong. I don't understand that one damn bit. Now I know what some people will say, or they'll say, well, Fred Taylor had an injury-riddled career, and he did. But you know what? That just makes him even more special, because even with him having all the injuries he's had throughout his career, he still put up Hall of Fame numbers. I compared him to the greats in the Hall of Fame, to the great running backs in the Hall of Fame. And guess what? Fred Taylor's numbers are right there with him. They're not far off. So, to me, that means he belongs in there. He belongs in the Hall. This man deserves to be in the same room as Walter Payton and Emmitt Smith and Marshall Faulk and Marcus Allen and all the great running backs that have come through NFL history. It's Fred Taylor. Respect the name.